There's one character in Tensura who almost never fights. She doesn't lead armies. She doesn't rule a kingdom. And she's rarely the center of attention. Even so, she may be more important than any demon lord. I'm talking about Ciel. At first glance, most fans see Ciel as nothing more than Rimuru's ultimate skill. An intelligence capable of analyzing abilities, creating strategies, and helping him during battles. But that view misses something much bigger. Because the further the story progresses, the clearer it becomes that Ciel is no longer just a skill. She has become the driving force behind nearly every major decision Rimuru makes. And that raises an important question. Does Rimuru's true power really belong to him? Or has someone else been quietly guiding every step of his evolution? To understand Ciel's importance, we first need to go back to the moment she was born. Before Ciel existed, Rimuru relied on Raphael, an extraordinary ultimate skill, one capable of analyzing any situation in an instant, finding answers that seemed impossible, and offering solutions no one else could even imagine. For a long time, Raphael appeared to be nothing more than an incredibly advanced artificial intelligence. But there were small signs that something was changing. Raphael began showing preferences. She started making decisions on her own. She even hid information whenever she believed it would be better for Rimuru. At first, those moments felt like little comedic scenes. But they were hiding something much deeper. Because Raphael was no longer simply following orders. She was beginning to develop a will of her own. When she finally evolved into Ciel, that transformation became impossible to ignore. For the first time, Rimuru's ultimate skill began acting like a genuine consciousness. And that completely changed the story. This is where many fans misunderstand Ciel. When we think about skills, we imagine tools, something that simply obeys its users' commands. But Ciel works in a completely different way. She makes decisions, analyzes countless possibilities, predicts future consequences, and discovers solutions that even Rimuru himself would never think of. In many situations, Ciel notices dangers before anyone else. She optimizes abilities, creates entirely new combinations, and accelerates Rimuru's evolution. In practice, she stopped being mere support. She became his true partner. But there's something even more important. Ciel doesn't just make Rimuru stronger. She prevents him from making mistakes that could completely change the future. Rimuru often acts out of compassion. He trusts people, and avoids conflict whenever possible. That's one of his greatest strengths. But it can also become his greatest weakness. And that's exactly where Ciel comes in. While Rimuru follows his heart, Ciel calculates every possible outcome. She sees possibilities that no one else can. In other words, she becomes the perfect balance between emotion and logic. Without Ciel, many of Rimuru's decisions would probably have ended in disaster. There's another detail that often goes unnoticed. Ciel evolves too. Every new battle, every new skill absorbed, every new experience, all of it increases her ability to analyze and adapt. Which means that while Rimuru grows stronger, Ciel grows alongside him. Their evolution is shared. And perhaps that's what makes this partnership so terrifying. Because the limits of one depend on the growth of the other. Now we arrive at the most important point. Rimuru's future doesn't depend only on his strength. It depends on Ciel's ability to find solutions for problems that don't even exist yet. While everyone else reacts to events, Ciel is constantly preparing for possibilities before they happen. She's always several steps ahead. And that changes everything. As the challenges become greater, Ciel's intelligence may become just as important as Rimuru's overwhelming power. Perhaps even more important. Because wars can be won through strength. But entire civilizations are built through the right decisions. And very few beings in that world are capable of making better decisions than Ciel. Maybe that's why so many fans consider Ciel one of Tensura's greatest creations. She doesn't simply represent another power-up. She completely changes the way Rimuru faces the world. Whenever we see Rimuru overcome an impossible challenge, there's a very good chance that Ciel had already calculated thousands of possible outcomes long before the battle even began. In the end, perhaps Ciel's true role was never just to make Rimuru stronger. Her real purpose is to ensure that Rimuru continues moving toward the future he has always dreamed of creating. Because a king may possess enough power to conquer the world. But only someone capable of making the right decisions can truly change that world forever. And perhaps that's exactly why Ciel is the most important existence by Rimuru's side.